The Bermuda Triangle, often called the Devil's Triangle, is one of the most famous unsolved mysteries in the world. Stretching roughly between Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, this region of the Atlantic Ocean has been linked to a long history of strange and unexplained disappearances of ships and aircraft. Stories about the triangle became widely popular in the mid-20th century, when journalists and writers began collecting reports of vessels vanishing without distress signals, leaving behind no wreckage, no clues, and sometimes not even a trace of communication. Some believe the area is affected by unusual magnetic forces or natural phenomena, while others think it might involve something far more mysterious. One of the most famous incidents connected to the Bermuda Triangle is the disappearance of Flight 19 in 1945. This was a group of 5 U.S. Navy training planes that took off from Florida for a routine mission. During the flight, the pilots reported that their compasses were malfunctioning and that they could not recognize their surroundings. Their leader, Lieutenant Charles Taylor, seemed confused about their position, and communication with the base became increasingly uncertain. Eventually, all contact was lost. What makes this case even more puzzling is that a rescue plane sent to search for them also disappeared shortly after takeoff. Neither the planes nor their crews were ever found, turning the incident into one of the biggest aviation mysteries of all time. Another chilling story is that of the USS Cyclops, a massive U.S. Navy cargo ship that vanished in 1918 while carrying over 300 people and a full load of manganese ore. The ship was traveling from Barbados to Baltimore and sent no distress signal before disappearing. Despite extensive search efforts, no wreckage was ever discovered. The sudden loss of such a large vessel without any sign of trouble remains one of the greatest maritime mysteries associated with the Bermuda Triangle. Similar cases include ships like the Carroll A. Deering, found abandoned with no crew on board, adding to the eerie reputation of the region. Over the years, many pilots and sailors have reported strange experiences while passing through the Bermuda Triangle. Some describe sudden storms appearing out of nowhere, while others talk about electronic instruments failing without explanation. There are even stories of time distortions, where travelers claim to have experienced gaps in time or unusual cloud formations that seemed almost unnatural. While scientists often explain these events through natural causes like underwater methane gas eruptions, strong ocean currents, or unpredictable weather patterns, the lack of consistent evidence keeps the mystery alive. Another eerie mystery tied to the Bermuda Triangle is the strange case of the SS Marine Sulphur Queen, a large tanker ship that vanished without a trace in 1963. The ship was carrying molten sulfur and had a crew of 39 people when it departed from Texas, heading toward Virginia. Everything seemed normal during the journey, and there were no signs of trouble in its last communications. But suddenly the ship disappeared. No distress signal was ever sent, and despite an extensive search operation, only a few scattered pieces of debris were found. Nothing that could clearly explain what had happened. What makes this case especially mysterious is that the Marine Sulphur Queen was considered a strong vessel, although some later reports suggested it may have had structural weaknesses. Still, experts could not fully determine whether the ship broke apart due to internal issues, was caught in a sudden natural event, or encountered something completely unknown. The lack of concrete evidence left investigators with more questions than answers. Over time, this incident added to the growing legend of the Bermuda Triangle. Some believe the ship may have been affected by unusual oceanic forces, while others think human error or design flaws were to blame. But like many other cases in this region, the disappearance of the Marine Sulphur Queen remains unresolved, continuing to fuel curiosity and speculation about what really happens in this mysterious part of the ocean. The mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle don't end with just a few famous incidents. There are many more strange and unsettling stories that have kept this region in the spotlight for decades. One such case is the disappearance of the SS Cotopaxi in 1925. The ship was traveling from Charleston to Havana carrying coal when it suddenly sent a distress signal reporting water entering the vessel. After that, it vanished completely. For years, no confirmed trace of the ship was found, and its fate became a mystery often linked to the Bermuda Triangle. Although some modern investigations suggest it likely sank due to a storm, the lack of clear evidence at the time added to the legend. Another strange incident is the story of the Star Tiger, a passenger plane that disappeared in 1948 while flying from the Azores to Bermuda. The weather was reported to be relatively normal, and the pilot had communicated his position shortly before the plane vanished. There was no distress call, no wreckage, and no explanation. Just a year later, another aircraft from the same airline, the Star Ariel, also disappeared under similar circumstances. Both planes seemed to vanish into thin air, deepening the mystery surrounding the region. Then there's the chilling case of the Ellen Austin, a ship reportedly involved in a bizarre encounter in the late 1800s. According to legend, the Ellen Austin discovered an abandoned vessel drifting in the Bermuda Triangle. When a crew was sent aboard to sail it back, the ship mysteriously disappeared. Days later it reappeared again, once more empty. The story has different versions and lacks solid documentation, but it remains one of the creepiest tales associated with the Triangle, often told as a ghost ship encounter. In 1967, a small cabin cruiser called the Witchcraft vanished just off the coast of Miami. The owner had taken a friend out to enjoy the view of the city lights when he contacted the Coast Guard, saying his boat had hit something, but there was no immediate danger. Rescue teams arrived at the location within minutes, but the boat was gone. There was no debris, no sign of struggle, nothing. It was as if the vessel had simply disappeared in an instant. Despite numerous investigations, the Bermuda Triangle remains a topic of debate between skeptics and believers. Some researchers argue that the number of disappearances is not higher than in other heavily traveled parts of the ocean, suggesting that human error and natural conditions are responsible. However, the dramatic stories, missing wreckage, and unexplained details continue to capture the imagination of people around the world. Whether it is a case of misunderstood science or something beyond current knowledge, the Bermuda Triangle still stands as one of the most fascinating and mysterious places on Earth. The Bermuda Triangle. Question for you. What do you think that Bermuda Triangle really exists?